Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. As you noticed on the screen, we're going to take the next step in our algebraic journey. Today, we're going to talk about combining like terms. Now, if you remember from a previous lesson last week, terms were the objects in an expression that were separated by a plus or a minus sign. Today, we're going to look specifically at terms that are considered to be like. In order to be a like term, terms need to have the same variable, meaning the same letter symbol, and power, meaning the same exponent. So let's just practice identifying some like terms by looking at our first expression, 4x plus 3m minus 2x plus m. Now, our very first term is 4x, and I'm going to circle that term. And I'm going to circle all the terms that are like 4x, meaning they need to have the variable x and a power of 1. 3m has the variable m, so it is not like 4x. My next term, 2x, shares the same variable and power, so 2x is like 4x. Now I'm going to circle 2x as well, but when I circle a term that is further into the expression, I want to grab that plus or minus sign that's in front of it. So the minus sign goes with the 2x. And then finally we have an m, which is not like 4x or 2x because it has a different variable. Our next term is 3m. I'm going to put a box around it, and I'm going to grab that plus sign in front of the term, and I'm going to put a box around all terms that are like 3m. Well, the only term we have left in this expression is m. It is like 3m because they share the same variable m, and they both have an exponent of 1. So I'm going to put a box around it, being sure to grab the plus sign in front of it. So 4x and 2x are like terms, 3m and m are like terms. Let's look at our next expression. 15t to the second power minus 6t plus 4t to the second power. My first term is 15t to the second power. I'm going to circle it. And I want to place a circle around any term that has the same variable t and power, meaning the exponent of 2. The next term I come across is 6t. They share the same variable, but because 6t doesn't have an exponent of 2, these terms are not like terms. They cannot go together. Our next term, 4t to the second power, both 15t to the second power and 4t to the second power share a variable t and an exponent of 2. So 4t to the second power is like 15t to the second power. I'm going to circle it, making sure to grab my plus sign in front of it. Once you're able to identify like terms, we can start combining them. So let's look at another example. On the screen, we have 2k plus 3k plus k. I want to go through and just mark all the like terms, all terms that go together. My first term is 2k, and I want to find all the variables, all of the terms that share the variable of k and an exponent of 1. Will 3k be able to join 2k in the like term club? Yeah, they are alike. They both share a variable k and an exponent of 1. So I'm going to mark that, I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to grab the plus sign in front of it. Finally, k. K is like 2k and 3k because they both share the variable k and an exponent of 1. So all three terms in this expression are like. Now I can go ahead and combine them using the operations that are in front of those terms. So 2k plus 3k. If I have 2k here and I add 3k to it, 2k and 3k, adding these two together is 5k. And now I'm going to add this other k to it. When you have a variable all by itself, there is an invisible coefficient of 1 right here. So k really means 1k, and 5k plus 1k gives us a simplified result of 6k. Our next example, 6h plus 2g minus 3h plus 7. Let's go ahead and mark our like terms before we can combine them. Our first term is 6h. We are looking for terms that have a variable h and a power of 1. 2g does not share the same variable, so it will not get circled. Next we have 3h. That is like 6h because they both share the variable h and an exponent of 1. When I mark the 3h, I'm going to grab that operation in front of it. In this case, it's subtraction. And then finally, we have plus 7, which is a constant. It is not like 6h or 3h. Let's combine all the terms that are like 2g. I'm going to put a box around them. The only term I have left is a 7. It is not like 2g because it's just a constant, doesn't have a variable at all. And so 7 is kind of all by itself. So let's combine all the terms that are like. My circle terms that have a variable h and a power of 1. I have 6h and I have 3h. In front of my 3h is a minus sign, so I am going to combine those terms using subtraction. 6h minus 3h is 3h. 2g has nothing to combine with. There are no terms that are like it, so I'm just going to bring down the plus 2g. And same thing with the 7. 7 is a constant term. It is not like any of the other terms, so I can just bring down the plus 7. Now I have 3h plus 2g plus 7. None of these terms are like each other. None of the terms share the same variable or power, so they cannot be combined. So your final answer is 3h plus 2g plus 7. You cannot simplify that expression any further. All right, let's do one more example. On the screen, we have 14 plus 3c plus 9d minus 6 plus 5c. Copy that expression down on a sheet of paper. Work through it with me. Let's try this out. Our very first term is a 14. I'm going to circle it. And 14 is a constant term, meaning it is just a number. It does not have a variable. It does not have a power. And I want to place a circle around any other constant term, any other term that is like the 14. The next term I come to is 3c. It is not like 14 because it has a variable c. 9d has a variable of d. It is not a constant. It cannot be combined with the 14. Next, we have a 6. It is a like term. It is a constant. It is just a number with no variable. So I'm going to circle it like I did the 14, making sure to grab the operation in front of it. So I'm going to combine 14 and 6 using subtraction. 14 minus 6 is 8. So rewriting the rest of my expression, 8 plus 3c plus 9d plus 5c. I don't have any terms that are like the 8. So now I'm going to combine any terms that have a variable c and a power of 1. So I have a positive 3c. 9d cannot be combined with it because it has a different variable, but I can combine it with a plus 5c. So if I have 3c and I add 5c to it, that is a total of positive 8c. I can bring down my 8 from before and my 9d. I have 8 plus 8c plus 9d. None of those terms are like. None of those terms share a variable.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank you guys for all of your hard work so far this year, and have a good weekend.
Sorry about that interruption. Just had an announcement on the intercom. Let's finish this expression. 8 plus 8c plus 9d. None of those terms are like. None of those terms share the same variable or power. So that is as far as we can simplify that expression. 8 plus 8c plus 9d is our final answer. Okay, I have 3 more expressions on the screen for you to try on your own. Copy them down on a sheet of paper. Pause the video, try them out on your own, and then come back and check your answers to see how you did. Okay, hopefully you gave yourself enough time to complete all of these problems. I'm going to go through them. Check your work as we go. Number 1, like terms 9w and minus 6w. They can be combined. 9w minus 6w is 3w. And then I have a positive 5p that can be combined with 4p. So positive 5p plus 4p is a positive 9p. Final answer, 3w plus 9p. Number 2, combining x terms first. 3x plus 1x plus another x. 3x plus 1x plus 1x, that is a total of 5x. And now I can combine my constant terms. Positive 6 minus 4 leaves me with positive 2. 5x plus 2 is the answer for that expression. And then finally down below, 5a to the third power. We're looking for any term that has a variable a being raised to the third power. Down here is the only other like term, grabbing the minus sign in front of it. 5a to the third power minus 2a to the third power is 3a to the third power. Our next term is a constant term, plus 13. There are no other terms that are constants, so I'm just going to bring down the plus 13. And then finally, our a terms, a variable of a and a power of 1. we're combining a positive 6a with 4a. 6a plus 4a is a positive 10a. Final answer, 3a to the third power plus 13 plus 10a. Don't forget to complete your independent practice assignment on combining like terms. Take a picture of your work and upload that file for submission. Take care, guys.